Hi everybody, my name's John Randall, and I guess you consider me an old school windsurfer. In particular, I love sailing the old Mistral longboards, and I've got a 1984 Garda, a 1986 Malibu, and a 1986 Competition that I'm restoring. And like any of you who've restored those sorts of boards, you'll know one of the challenges is what are you going to do with the foot straps? How do you replace them and keep the authentic look? So this is actually one of the original foot straps that I'm sure you're all familiar with. So this is the cover, and this is the internal part. Now with my boards, with those three I just mentioned, the Garda didn't have any foot straps at all, and the other two had some foot straps, but all of the outers were destroyed, but the inner pieces were okay. So I was trying to think, how could I possibly approach, replacing these foot straps? Though I looked online, and it's pretty hard to get these original ones anymore. I did see the Mistral site does sell sort of these red retro ones, but I couldn't actually get them shipped out here to Australia. Plus, they were very expensive. So what I did was I had some made, and this is one that I had made up. So there's the internal piece, and there's the outside. Looks pretty much the same as, if I put it together. I'm not squeezing it all up together, but looks pretty much the same as the original one. Very similar on the outside too. Now I've got to be honest, I didn't actually cut that up myself. I didn't cut it out and stitch it. I certainly don't have the skills to do that. So I put an add-on Airtasker, which was sort of a site here. I'm sure there's similar things all around the world where you can actually get people to, bid on any job. And so I just put one up saying I was looking for someone to sew together some foot straps, and I just put some pictures up of what the original one looked like and what I was after. I had a couple of people respond, and one of the people that responded was like an industrial seamstress, and so that was the one I went with. What I did was I sent them through an original strap, which was this one, to have a look at, and then they were having a bit of trouble sourcing the red Velcro, strangely enough. So I actually went onto eBay and I ordered some 25mm red Velcro, and I also ordered some of the 50mm Velcro that goes on the inside piece. It was all done from eBay, and the Velcro cost me I think about $25 Australian, which is about $15 US. The person who was actually making the strap, they sourced all of the rest of the materials, including this blue outer shell, and they also sourced the inner foam material that's inside that, and they put the whole thing together. Oh, and they also got the heavy duty webbing. So the total cost was about 210 Australian dollars, or about 150 US dollars, and that was to create 6 complete straps plus an additional inner piece that I needed. I was kind of missing one. The process took about 4 weeks, and the finished product was shipped back to me along with the foot strap that I sent to that person. So the total cost per strap was about $40 Australian, or about, depending on the exchange rate when you're watching this, right at the moment, probably about $26 American. So I'm really pleased with these, and a bit later on you'll see what they look like on the board. The other straps for the other two boards, I thought I'd take a slightly different approach. Now, with the other boards, I actually had the internal webbing pieces, so I really just needed some covers made. And one of them, the Competition, I wanted to have kind of the blue color, but the Malibu sort of has got more of this sort of aqua green color. So what I decided to do was just have some outers made, and this is an example of one, the blue one, and this is an example of the aqua. Now, some of the work to actually get these straps created was actually outsourced. I couldn't do everything, so I went to my local sail maker, and they did most of the stitching work. Initially, I was thinking about getting a wetsuit maker to put these things together, but then it occurred to me that I could just use custom mouse pads. And the advantage was of these neoprene mouse pad straps is that I could completely customize the color and the logo. So really what this is actually a cut down mouse pad. You can see it there. And then it's just got some Velcro stitched on it. And that a couple of holes for the screws, and the whole thing just wraps around the inner piece, basically around one of these. So I guess the real question is, how did I get these mouse pads made up? Well, that was pretty easy. The basic approach was just to get my local online printing service to create custom mouse pads. They're called Vistaprint here in Australia. And then what I did was I just cut them to size, and I sent them to my local sail maker who, with the Velcro, I actually sourced the Velcro myself as well, to have them stitched up. It took me a few attempts to get the original, to get the design correct, to get the size right, to get the logo looking right and in the right place. And I was actually able to download a logo from the internet and then resize it and position it on the virtual mousepad software that Vistaprint uses. And I did about 3 test prototypes to get everything right. It wasn't, it didn't all just happen perfectly. In the end, I settled on the logo itself being about 110 millimeters long and about 23 millimeters high. I placed the logo on the bottom edge of the mouse pad in the center, about 28 millimeters from the bottom. So from the bottom of the mouse pad to the bottom of the logo, 28 millimeters. Now, fortunately, the mouse pads themselves were the perfect width, which is about 234 millimeters. So I didn't even have to cut them. So that was great in terms of the width of them. Or that relates basically back to the length of the individual mouse pads. But what I did do is I had to trim the height of them so that they would wrap around the webbing correctly. I took about 5 millimeters off the bottom of each mouse pad below the logo so that the rounded edges of the mouse pad were no longer present. And then I took several centimeters from the top of the mouse pad so that the total height of each mouse pad strap was now 154 millimeters. So that is the height here, 154 millimeters, and then this was just the width of the mouse pad. Because I was creating 16 of them, I needed 4 for each board that I've got. I actually ended up creating a little jig or a template that I could use, that I could slide each mouse pad into, and then I could mark where I was going to cut it with a white pencil. To cut the straps that I had actually purchased, I ended up getting a nice new sharp pair of Fiskars brand dressmaking scissors. And I got that just so I could cut the neoprene and, hopefully it wouldn't fray too much. With the neoprene covers all now cut to size, I purchased several meters of marine grade white Velcro. And I also got some bonded thread, which I got in 2 colors. One was blue and one was sort of this seafoam green. And then I took the whole lot down to my local sail maker who stitched the Velcro into the covers using the bonded thread that I bought. The major costs for each strap were basically $15, 15 Australian dollars for each mouse pad. And as I said, that was done by a company here in Australia called Vistaprint, who shipped them directly to me. Plus about $3 worth of Velcro on each strap, plus $16 for the sail maker to stitch them together. And there were also some other costs, like, I bought the scissors, I bought the thread, I bought a dressmaker's marking pencil, and all of that stuff I got from Amazon and eBay. So it was pretty easy. In total, I would say the total cost of each strap was about the same price as the other ones. It was about $40 Australian, about $26 US at the time that I'm making this video. So with that said, I'm not sure which ones you prefer. They're both a little bit different, but I'm going to put them on the boards and finish off this video with some vision of actually what the finished products look like in place. So stay tuned for some of my other videos and enjoy the finished product.